it hasn't even really sunk in yet that it's Bears-Packers week. Like, that's how insignificant this rivalry has become. It's how little it matters. Like, this should be something in theory that Bears fans and Packers fans, frankly, are foaming at the mouth about. And they're not. And they haven't really been for a long time, let's be honest. You'll get the occasional pot shot or dumb joke online, but that's about it. And when you look at it with the Bears and all that's happened this week, leading up to this game, yeah, it doesn't even feel like it. And, I think there's a big feeling of, like, inevitability for both sides. And on the one hand, as much fun as it might be to feel like your team is so completely dominant over the other, there is something deep down that eventually that starts to get boring. It lowers the stakes. You just don't care as much, and it becomes more like another game. And no matter how much Bears fans, certain segments of Bears fans, try to tell you that this rivalry matters, that this rivalry is great, and it has all this history behind it, the reality is for most all of those Bears fans for their entire lives, or the majority of their lives, this has not been a fucking rivalry. At some point in time, for it to be a real rivalry, both teams have to win a fair share of the fucking games. There could be some type of slant. There could be some type of advantage one way or another. But this has been ritualistic rape year after year after year. The type of rape that voters might look past and let you get into the White House. Yeah! Because you got to sit there and you look at it and you say, how could this game possibly turn out? The Packers are undefeated against the Bears in this decade. The Bears haven't won a game in this rivalry since 2018. That's 10 straight matchups that they've lost to the Brown Bay Packers since 1990. So even predating the official beginning of the Brett Favre era in Green Bay by a couple of years, the Packers are 15-19 against the Bears if you include the 2010 NFC Championship game. 50-19! 50-19! 10 straight wins for the Packers in this series. Undefeated in the fucking decade. And we're supposed to give a shit about this? And I say we, I'm not even just talking about Bears fans, I'm talking about Packers fans too. They are infinitely more concerned with the Vikings, the 49ers, the Cowboys, even the Lions in terms of pure rivals. Like, the Bears are barely fifth on the fucking radar. Give me a break. It just can't be considered a rivalry when one side is so consistently dominant time after time. Like when Aaron Rodgers used to say he was the Bears' daddy, he absolutely fucking meant it. It's true. You can't even get mad at it. Why the fuck would you hate at it? Because it is fucking true. And as much as I know as this country in its current environment hates fucking reality and hates the truth and hates facts, bottom line is, folks, it's fucking facts. The Bears are the Packers' bitches and have been for a long time, dating back to my fucking middle school days. Holy Christ. And when you look at this season, there is absolutely no reason to think that this is not going to turn out like it has so many other times in recent decades. The Packers are 6-3. They're relevant, playing relevant games. Their losses have been to the Eagles, the Vikings, and the Lions, three of the top teams in the NFC. Meanwhile, you've got the Bears at 4-5 coming off of their bye, having lost 3 straight games. Oh, by the way, their offense sucks so bad and their young rookie quarterback Caleb Williams has regressed so much the past few weeks that you fired the offensive coordinator after 9 fucking games. Like even gutless Getsy, put him up. I'm the offensive coordinator. He lasted 2 full seasons. Waldron went 9 fucking games. Matt LaFleur knows what he's doing. The Chicago Bears have Matt Eberflus as their head coach. Cynical. That doesn't even begin to describe it. And frankly, I think Vegas, the odds makers, whoever, are fucking morons. The Packers are only 5.5 point favorites? Only? On what fucking planet, based off of what you've seen from both of these teams this year, the history of this rivalry, the clear advantage the Packers have in terms of their head coach versus the Bears, makes this a game where you think it's less than a touchdown as a fucking spread. Are you nuts? Even the over-under is a little high, only because, like, how many points can the Packers really score here? Although you wonder how much the Bears might fucking face plant in this one. Oh, but they got a new offensive coordinator. It's going to be so different. Until you realize he was part of the same shitty system that put out this mess the past few weeks. And oh, by the way, when this guy, Thomas Brown, was the offensive coordinator somewhere last year, it was in fucking Carolina, part of Bryce Young's rookie year disaster. Oh, that'll give you a lot of confidence. I mean, come on. You're looking for real, like, serious, in-depth analysis here? The fuck are we talking about here? Who the fuck would sit there and do real serious analysis of this matchup? Why? Why would you waste your fucking time? Like, when you think about the keys to victory for this one, for the Packers, just show up. Just get to the stadium on time. Have your pads on, your athletic supporters, your helmets. Just show up. Instant 2 touchdown favorites. Don't turn the ball over. Because when you have a piece of shit team like the Bears, they're still NFL players. As much as sometimes some of them don't look like they are. If you give them gifts and you give them opportunities to stay in it, you fuck around and find out, and that's how you lose to a team you have absolutely no business losing to. And then if you want to talk X's and O's strategy here, just pressure the hell out of Caleb Williams. Yes, the Bears will have Darnell Wright back and Braxton Jones back, but Tevin Jenkins is out. This offensive line is still dog shit. Get after Caleb Williams. Get after him. Get him uncomfortable. For God's sakes, the Patriots, one of the worst teams in the league, sacked him 9 fucking times last week. They got after him. You have to get after Caleb. So if you do that, the offense will grind to a screeching fucking halt. As far as the Bears, I mean, you got some appealing options here. Like, get the NFL to collude with you until the game is at 3:25 Central, and when the Packers don't show up for the noon kickoff, you force a forfeit. Like, that's one way to do it. I mean, wouldn't hurt. Give it a shot. You could ship in some of those Brown Bay homely heifers to the Packers hotel on Saturday night and hopefully wear out the players. Like, send 6 of them to Jordan Love's room. I don't fucking know. I mean, they got some homely heifers up in Green Bay. They're big, beefy, and ugly bitches. Ooh. Ooh. I mean, could you imagine any dude outside of Brown Bay, Wisconsin bragging, yeah, my wife's from Green Bay. Woo! Ugly. Straight up fucking homely heifers. Man, they're the ones that'll go pick up the cow and kill it and slaughter it. Oh, yuck. They got that front butt where if you're not careful when you look at them, you see what looks like a crack in 2 cheeks until you realize it's their gut done lap over their vag. Ooh, shipping a bunch of them homely heifers, and maybe the Packers players will get distracted. They'll get worn the fuck out. Who knows? Because everything else they've tried over the past 3+ fucking decades on the actual football field doesn't fucking work. So let's get nuts here, folks. But when all else fails, there's one remaining hope for the Bears. And that is bore Green Bay to death with 60 minutes of pure personified Bears football. That could get the trick done. Like, be so lame, so vanilla, so boring, so predictable, so pathetic that the Packers just piss away any interest in this game. And you catch them slipping, Pippin. What other shot do the Bears really have here? I mean, come on. Now, I know a lot of Packer fans are looking at this, and on the one hand, they're like, God, this is amazing. Yes, I'm enjoying. You're shitting on the Bears, and they deserve it. Packers are the Bears' daddies, blah, blah, blah. And then you're thinking about it and say, wait a second, this is the type of sick, sadistic son of a bitch that would pull the old bait and switch just so he could put the goddamn Jeff Jinx on my team. Well, as much as I would like to put the Jeff Jinx on your team, no, I'm just realistic here. The Bears have lost 3 straight games against progressively worse teams, from the Commanders to the Cardinals and the Patriots, and they've looked worse each of the last 3 weeks. And that's coming off of a bye when they were 4-2. Like, the Bears aren't beating good teams, and they're losing in ever increasingly embarrassing fashion against bad teams. There is absolutely no reason on God's green fucking earth to pick the Bears to win this fucking game. If it happens, it happens. A blind squirrel finds a nut once in a while. Great. But there is no fucking way you can make a clear football argument for this. You can't even make a semi-emotional plea argument for this. The Bears are the Packers bitches, and that's that. So you gotta hope for forfeit, hope they wear themselves out fucking all night with some homely Brown Bay heifers, or just bore the brakes off of them with 60 minutes of Bears football. That's it. And unfortunately, it's going to be that third option. You got to hope Bears football lulls the Packers into a deep death sleep Sunday afternoon at Soldier Field, that third-rate dump of a stadium that looks like an alien ship crash landed into the fucking Roman Coliseum, took a huge dump in there. Oh my God. Don't say that about that stadium. It fucking sucks. Just like everything about this organization fucking sucks. Like over under on the number of Twinkies that Ryan Poles is going to be double fisting on Sunday, sitting up his fat ass up in the freaking suite up there at Soldier Field. Over under of 50 on the number of Go-Gurt cuts that Goofy George is going to be eating. Hey, yuck, gosh. Oh, that's okay. We're only losing by 20. We're turning the ship around. Ha, 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 ha. Fuck. Like at this point, why would you pick the Bears to win any games the rest of the season? Nothing you've seen the past few weeks shows that this is a team that gives a shit or they have any type of competent leadership at all. It is just truly Bears football! And imagine my lack of joy having to sit there and think about the thought of fucking burning another 3+ hours on a Sunday watching the Bears get their brains bashed in by the Packers. Ugh.